Hey guys, how's it going? It's Alpha here, and thank you for joining me for another Puzzle and Dragons video. I wanted to get a wrap on the Descended challenge, so instead of trying to put together all of the different dungeons, because there were so many in there, I decided to just go with the last three. I guess they're called Rogue style dungeons. We're starting at level 1 and ranking up as you go as a result of the costs of your cards. So I found I used to struggle running. I've got a bunch of runs doing Zaerog Infinity with my Bastet team, and for whatever reason, I just had a tough time running it with that. I think my matching is just very slow, and obviously you guys can probably tell this is sped up footage. You know, I'm not matching at the speed of light here. I sped it up because we have 3 different runs to get through, so I want to make sure we get through all of them. But I think the amount of time extends we have here, and also the fact that I can match up any 5 out of the 6 possible attributes, it makes it so you don't really get orb trolled. And it makes it so that you can actually see here I get an invade, which can typically mess up a what's it called, a rogue run, just because you're so low level and they hit a decent amount. Anyways, I don't get trolled, and I'm able to. I think also the long matching time really helps out on that 9th stage where you have to get the 6 combos or you die kind of thing. So it's definitely nice to have that available. Anyways, I mean, this is running Raw Dragon. You're gonna see me stacking in a pretty standard way. If anything, maybe slightly less than optimal, since I don't typically go vertical with my matches as I get to the top of the board. But it gets the job done pretty well here. So you could see, I think, do I mess up here? I might mess up here, I forget. Actually, there's one portion where, now that I'm thinking about it, I might even try and go back and speed up even more. Yeah, that's where I messed up. I didn't match up those fire orbs. I remember that. So I think at one point I'm running the dungeon and someone comes in and talks to me, and I'm actually talking with them for a quick second. But anyways, we have to use an active there, and of course we do get our attack, and down goes those super gold dragons, and we do have a nice looking board here, so we're able to attack. And I think, yeah, I remember my strategy here. I had used my Dark Kali active, so I wanted to be sure to not do a full multiplier, so that I could take out these little dorky guys on the side, over whatever on the side, and I could take my time to get rid of this guy here. So, and my thing is always attack at 2 turns if possible. If you don't need a skill on the first turn of the next round, attack when you're at 2, just to be safe. You mess up, you're not going to throw the entire run. So anyways, you can see I get the attack, and down he goes, and we're on to Zaerog. And I did have the option, when I was running this quite a lot, you could see the friend Raw Dragon has skill delay resist, and I could use that to get my Indra back up, which completely takes off all of the need to get all the matches. In other words, if we did not get 6 combos, we would not be one-shotted. So it's kind of nice. I felt pretty confident with the board. If it was a really crappy scrambled board, I probably would have done that, but it looked okay to me. And you can see here, we actually get a little flustered, and I think, do I get it on my own? I actually totally don't. I got saved by Skyfalls there. That happens sometimes. You get lost in the middle of a combo, and then before you know it, your time is done. So thankfully, the Skyfall gods thought this was a run worth saving. So that is exactly what happened there. We do get hit here because we just weren't able to match up the light or dark. But it's not really a big deal. We're going to heal right up, and of course we're going to take him out on this turn. And that's that. We're on to the final form of Zaerog. He will not hold back any longer, and I definitely will not either. So that means we're going to be using our Christmas Collie. We're going to be using... oh, I'm just kidding. I'm getting ahead of myself here. This is the turn where he has the shield up. And of course with this team actually, it's kind of cool. You know, you're always trying to put up a multi-turn buff or effect so that he does that King of Zero, but it's really not needed with this team because no one is bindable except for Indra, and then I just pop Isis, and Indra is unbound, and there we go. Now the problem with this board, as you can see, I do not have the ability to make a light TPA, a red TPA. I can make a dark TPA, which is nice. But it kind of hampered my ability to attack, especially since he has a damage reduction on dark, but it honestly just doesn't matter. Raw Dragon is just that strong. He laughs at other dragons. So there we go. There goes a Zaerog Infinity run. We got a nice green jewel for that. I actually got a decent amount of jewel invades on this Descend challenge. I don't know if anyone else experienced the same thing, but I definitely had quite a bit of jewel invades. So let's see. Okay, we are hopping into Nordis, and I found, for whatever reason, running this dungeon with Yomi Dragon is just the easiest thing. I couldn't believe what an easy time I had running this. I've never tried to farm this or skill this guy up. I don't think he's one of the really good Descend guys to skill up. Although he doesn't seem to be a material for anyone either. But whatever, it's neither here nor there. I've run this with Yomi Dragon, and I've never had an issue just completely annihilating this dungeon. So, for whatever reason, I don't know. My Yomi Dragon team is good. I don't think it's optimal because I don't have a Haku. I don't have an Awoken Haku, I should say. I do have the Christmas Haku, but the Awoken Haku has the skill boost or not skill boost, haste, I should say. And I run Awoken Pandora, who does kind of combo with Akechi Mitsuhide, and of course I get the skill haste out of her. So at this point, I think I'm just looking up to figure out, is this guy going to do anything really bad? Should I be worrying about him? Should I use a skill? And I determined that, you know, it's not that big of a deal to tank a hit from him. We generate exactly 0 dark orbs, so I think I thought we did a decent amount of combos. And again, you know, he's not scheduled to do a large amount of damage, so once again, we clear out, we do 6 combos and generate 1 dark orb. So not really going my way, but I decided to just be patient here. Sometimes that's the best bet, you know. I mean, unless you're doing a ranking dungeon, there's no time limit. You can take your time. But you can see there, I ran out of heart orbs. I was not going to be able to heal, so I decided to just get on with it. Cascade down, not a big attack, only a 4 combo, but with a attribute advantage, you can bet we'll be bursting right on through. So this guy, he gives you a countdown, the Tornado Holy Dragon. So no real need to worry about anything. Of course, I match up all my darks. That just seems to happen to me. If I'm trying to match up and just burn a turn or generate more orbs, you know, I don't have the best of luck with that all the time. So again, like I always say, I try to attack with 2, you know, just to be on the safe side. And of course, we Skyfall and, you know, unneeded extra attack, but it is what it is. And so at this point, I'm starting to get through my turns because we do have the 3 skill haste. You know, I've only used the 2 with the Yomi Dragons, but, you know, we have 3 at our disposal, so we're able to get through more than 1 usage of our active skills, which is probably why this dungeon seems so easy for me. Anyways, we're moving on through 3Dia. Everyone hates 3Dia. He's a jerk. That's pretty much universally known. So trying to make sure we're going to take him out. Trying to determine if we need to use more skills in order to get our attack up. I'm pretty sure we do not have to. And we do need to have a Yomi Dragon active for the next stage. And really, I should not have matched up those hearts that you just saw me match up. But you can see he turns red into jammers, which running this team does not matter. Whenever I would be trying to run my teams or something, that guy would give me fits. Anyway, so here we go, and he's going to. Oh, never mind. That's in his second form. What does he do? I don't know. He doesn't do anything. I don't know. I don't have the dungeon in front of me. I have to be honest. You know, I'm not reading off the Puzzle Dragon X sheet here, but I see that I could do a 5 combo and a TPA. So that's definitely the way to go here. We get a pretty good attack. We already have our hearts matched up on the side, so really we've got a nice 4 combo looking at us with a TPA in there, and with the Dark Skyfall we get another attack, and that's pretty much going to wreck his first move. And now is when he throws out the bind. There we go. That's what I was waiting for this whole time. Which is why you need to have a Yomi Dragon ready to rock so that you can unbind the team. And if you're crafty, you can set up a Skyfall to do an attack after. Because if you unbind and then do a match, you will get the leader skill as well as the subs will attack as well. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to watch what I'm doing here and then also narrate. So it could be a little tricky. Alpha's old brain doesn't always cooperate. But there we go. There goes Nordis. So even though I ran into a little bit of trouble because I should have had both Yomi Dragons up at the end, so I didn't have to deal with that skill delay. But not really too difficult. So down he goes, thanks to I for his Yomi Dragon with those skill delay resists. Okay, I just cut over to a different recording there. I had a little bit of an issue with the recording for Scarlet, so I wanted to make sure we got that done and done right. Anyways, we are hopping into Scarlet here with Raw Dragon, and I went and kind of foolishly just took out Belial in one shot. You definitely want to take him out, but waiting a bit if possible is probably good because I've got Indra lined up as my shield to deal with the possible appearance of Divine Queen Hera, and he needs a little bit of time to get ready. Anyways, we go into that second stage, and I had to use a Kali active because I didn't leave myself with a good board after matching up against Belial, so here we are. We do have a pretty good board against the Grimoire, and we're able to get our full activation and attack, and we get 7 combos, and we just about take the Grimoire out, but unfortunately we do leave a little bit, which gives us the Earth Evocation, and that will give us a whole bunch of Wood Skyfalls. So unfortunately, we kind of, we're dealing with that now. Which, if this was a combo-based team, even if it wasn't a wood-based combo-based team, it wouldn't be that bad because you end up getting a decent amount of Skyfalls. But obviously, with a color match team, it kind of takes over the colors that you get on the board. As you can see here, I only have 2 water and 2 fire orbs, so it's not really too optimal. And you can see once again we're kind of left with not enough dark orbs because we're just inundated with all of these wood orbs. So a little bit of a bummer, but looking at my current situation, I was trying to figure out, can I tank this hit, because he will hit for 18,000 and then throw out some binds. and I wanted to be sure that I was going to survive that. So I knew with Isis's shield I would be able to, and of course Indra gets bound there. So you know, it's two. Is it two or no? One random sub. Oh no, two subs. Two subs. So he's the only bindable sub. Um, but anyways, we're kind of once again left in a spot where we're unable to get a full activation. So my options here are pretty much hope and pray for a Heart Skyfall or use a Kali active. And it's tricky because, you know, we're getting towards the end of the dungeon. After this, there's only 2 stages left. And while you do kind of stall a little bit on Scarlet, it's not really ideal to be using all your actives here, especially on stupid Kraken. Anyways, we do, and that is that. So, and of course we had to also use a Raw Dragon active as well because Indra was not up and ready, and we need Indra's shield in case we face that lady. She's got a big preemptive that will no doubt one-shot this team unless we have a shield up. And Indra's shield makes light of her attacks. Ha ha ha, is what Indra has to say about that. What's it called? Yeah, so here we are, we're hoping for a Heart Skyfall, and it's just on the wrong side there. You know, it's just one off from where we want it, and, you know, what are you going to do? So we're dealing with Black Nightmare here. We can't attack, we can match up, get rid of those jammers, heal up, and I don't even know what I was trying to do with that diagonal, but I'm still not good at diagonals, and maybe I was just practicing, I don't know, because I knew I couldn't attack anyways. So, okay, at this point I'm trying to figure out, can I tank something? Like, what are the skill cooldowns I'm dealing with? You can see I keep kind of pulling up the, you know, the long press on my cards to see when their actives are going to be back up, because we're going to have to be dealing with Scarlet, who is not too nice of a boss to be dealing with. So I definitely want to try and stall if possible and not use this Dark Kali active right now, because my Christmas Kali does not, she's not ready yet. So, you know, looking at what we have to deal with here, so I'm not going to be taking her under her 50% since I can't activate. We're looking at either a 12,000 attack or a 10,000 attack and changing light to jammer. Since we don't have light, I think she'll just default to her standard 12,000 attack. I think I was pretty much just reading through all of the different scenarios and making sure I wasn't screwing myself over by not using that active right there. And there you go. So she ended up using the Black Nightmare because I guess we generated the light orbs. And at that point we had not enough hearts on the board, so we'd be dead in the next shot. So we needed to make sure we matched up and did a darn good job at that. And we do. We get some of those wood orbs. Like I said, the increased thing, I mean, sometimes it helps out. You get those extra Skyfalls. If they Skyfall and match, that's good because then they're clearing themselves off. Otherwise, you're looking at you know, a board that's flooded. Even this board, even though I could match here, for one thing, she is immune against damage over 100,000. And I forgot where I was going with it, but you know, I mean, I could have done a full attack if I wanted, but even then, I didn't have all the good orbs I would want. You know, I still had a whole bunch of wood orbs. So I saved up some of the hearts, so I wanted to make sure I could heal up, and she buffs up. So if you don't attack her, she'll do a big skill delay resist. So two turns, so I guess not that big, but here you can see I'm just really trying to save up those hearts because I wanted to be able to heal up after this. Raw Dragon does have a very nice recovery boost, so you can kind of dig yourself out of these situations and just kind of heal up and not burn actives and not really panic. So it's kind of nice to have someone that has a recovery boost. So there we go, and of course I don't clear out all the jammers, but that actually doesn't hurt because she has that move there, the Rose Flare, which is not great because it hits for 16,000, but I'm alive and I do have a board I can attack with now. So it kind of, it's not ideal, but it is what it is. If you get given a board that you can actually attack with, you better do everything you can with it. And you can see I actually just don't quite get there because as I was swiping, I mismoved with my stylus and I pushed a light orb out of the way to start the combo. So that kind of put me in a tough situation. But we had gone long enough. The Kali actives are just about ready to get back up. So we can just go ahead. I mean, obviously we made ourselves a nice board here. And just to be on the safe side, I checked to see if we're dealing with a bunch of binding in her other form, and the answer was no. So I felt safe enough to use my Isis for her shield, just in case things don't go as planned. Nice to have a little bit of a shield up. But we hit her, those light TPAs go pretty far since Raw Dragon's got 2 TPAs. And we are pretty much ready to rock here. So even though no one's up, we pop Raw Dragon, then we pop Kali, and again, at that point, Isis is actually back up, so that's cool. And we have enough to make our TPAs, and we're looking for that one shot. We have our time buff up. We get rid of her debuff, and we put our own buff up, and we're ready to rock and roll. So kind of funny enough, even though we just use an active, we still have a whole bunch of wood orbs on the board. So not really the best, but we make the best of it. We get multiple matches of them. We put together both a light TPA, a fire TPA, and we're able to one-shot Scarlet. So she's still a pretty tough boss for me to face. The whole dungeon is pretty challenging. I've only cleared it for stones and stuff. I have not even thought of farming this thing to try and get a skilled up Scarlet or a Scarlet system. I mean, God bless those guys that go through and get the Scarlet system, but I'd imagine they also farm it pretty easily. So if you got a nice Scarlet farm team, let me know what it is in the comment section below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this. I wanted to get a good conclusion to the Descended Challenge. Make sure I got up some of the clears. It would have taken me all week. I do have a separate full-time job, so I couldn't record all of those dungeons, but I wanted to get up some different runs and I guess some of the more challenging runs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. That's about all. We have some more content lined up. We just had Sonia Grand Reverse come into town. We just had the Devil Challenge land, and we'll be getting up some runs with those. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and you'll see me next time.